Hey everyone, Microsoft is slated to report fiscal year 2024 third quarter earnings results on April 25th, and investors are curious if they should buy the stock before or after earnings, or even if they should buy the stock at all. So I'll address those concerns here. I'll also provide a little preview of what to expect from Microsoft's earnings report, and then I'll answer what I think about buying or selling or doing it before or after the earnings results. So let's jump right in.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So far, year to date in 2024, Microsoft stock has performed relatively well. It's at $400 per share after starting the year around $375 per share. Now it's down, as you can see, off the highs around $430, $440 per share. Given the route we experienced on Friday, the market route, and then before that, AI stocks have taken a bit of a breather after starting off the year red hot. So investors are looking at Microsoft, and I'm sure you've probably been looking at Microsoft for several weeks now, looking at it like an opportunity. Man, the stock is down. Finally, I've got a chance to get in. Should I get in now? Should I wait? What's the operating procedure here? So, just to remind you all, I've had Microsoft stock rated as a buy for some time now. I updated that recommendation on April 4th, recommending Microsoft stock as a buy, but I've had it rated as a buy even before that. This is just when I updated it and recommended and reiterated the stock as a buy. Now, coming into the earnings results, is it still a buy? Well, it gets a little tricky when you're talking about earnings and buying right in the moments before earnings. And I'll tell you why that's the case. It has to do with the elevated risks. I always consider risks along with my purchase of investments. If I'm taking a greater risk, I want a greater return on my investment. And so getting it just before earnings, I would need to see a lot of reason in order to jump ahead of earnings and buy the stock, because as much research as I do, right? Arguably nobody conducts as much research, financial research as I do, right? I'm working 6.5 days a week following companies across the board. I'm researching macroeconomic factors. I'm looking at all of these things, unemployment, GDP, geopolitical concerns, all of that, right? Still, I don't feel like I have all the information that has come out that can impact Microsoft's earnings in the upcoming quarter. And so there's information I might be missing that's getting priced into the stock that I'm not aware of or I've missed on, that some other analysts, those on Wall Street, or the other few analysts that are following Microsoft stock and maybe only three or four stocks, they might have more information on Microsoft and they're able to better gauge what the earnings and the near term trading might be, right? So that's why I hesitate, but right before, in the week before earnings or the couple of days before earnings, I would need to be really confident of the valuation to jump in ahead of earnings. So I take some different types of strategies, which I'll talk a little bit more about at the end of the video. Now, as far as its latest quarterly results, if you look at Microsoft's latest quarter, it was excellent. It was absolutely excellent. It delivered 19.2 billion in revenue in the productivity and business segment, 25.9 billion in the intelligent cloud, and 16.9 billion in the personal computing segment, all of which were growth rates above double digits, 13, 20, and 19% respectively, and 18% overall revenue growth in the most recent quarter. Of course, being a primarily software business, the gross profit margins are phenomenal. 42.4 billion and 68% gross profit margin, which led to $27 billion in operating income on revenue of 62 billion. That's an excellent operating income percentage of 44%. It's a very lucrative business model with strong competitive advantages. That's why I've had Microsoft stock rated as a buy coming into 2024. And right now, its valuation at a forward PE of, let me pull that up for you here, a forward PE of 30.07 is not very expensive for Microsoft stocks. Relatively fairly valued, I would say. It's not too expensive, it's not too cheap, given its prospects going forward, given the industry it operates in is rebounding. The personal computing industry is expected to recover in 2024. It's expected to grow in the low to mid single digits and then expand even further in 2025 and 2026. So Microsoft is in a good position in that segment, and then its cloud segment is thriving, fueled of course by its artificial intelligence products, its investments in OpenAI and ChatGPT. Of course, ChatGPT runs on the Microsoft Cloud Network, so that's been a benefit for Microsoft overall. It's just a very lucrative business. Anytime you can get Microsoft stock at a relatively cheap value, it's a good time to buy. So specifically, going into the quarterly earnings results, this is one where I would say wait until after the earnings come out. Wait until you get all of that information, digest that new information, let the stock price adjust to that information that comes out, and then you could go in and get Microsoft stock, because it's not like the stock is so cheap where I would feel like, man, I want to rush in and get it, because if something good comes out of the earnings, if the company beats expectations, the stock could jump by 10, 15, 20%. And then at that point, I would feel like it's too late for me to invest. I would feel like the margin of safety has now been removed and I don't feel confident going in anymore. So it's not in that position. It's not in that position. It's not expensive and it's not cheap. The stock is fairly valued. The stock is reflecting the excellent prospects. It's a good investment. It's not a situation where it's like you got to jump in here and buy every single share you can at this price. I don't think it's in that position. That's why you would have noted I have Microsoft stock rated as a buy. It's not one of my favorites. It's not on my list of top stocks to buy. It's not my top stock to buy. So it's, I've got at least 25 stocks I like better than Microsoft, and they're on my list here. You can check this out. So I like Microsoft. I think it's a great business at a fair price, and I think investors will do well in the very long run if they buy excellent businesses at fair prices. I think that's an investment strategy that will increase your wealth over the long run. However, coming into the earnings report, these few short trading days, you're taking on an elevated level of risk that I don't think you need to with Microsoft. I think you can wait until after the earnings come out, digest that information, and of course I'll have a review for you. I'll review the latest figures that come out of Microsoft's earnings, and I'll update my recommendation again at that point, whether or not it's still a buy, hold, sell, or if I'm upgrading it up to a top stock. I'll let you know all of that when the earnings come out in a couple of short days. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.